Hi everybody, it's Geordie from Geordie's Cards here for Pawsome Stamps today, and I am very excited to be bringing you this fun Halloween card featuring some of the new products from Pawsome Stamps. This is the gorgeous Costume Pumpkins stamp set, and I am just in love with it. I think it's adorable. So I have gone ahead and stamped and coloured out my little pumpkins here. I'm not going to be using all of them today, but I did want to colour them all in because they're just so much fun. I decided to create some of my pumpkins green for something a little bit different, and I've kind of gone for a bit of a spooky, glowy green colour there. If you're interested in my colour combinations, I have listed the Copic markers down below. I am now going to do some ink blending onto a background panel. So I have some Distress Oxide inks in Dusty Concord, Villainous Potion, and Black Soot. So I'm starting with that Dusty Concord towards the bottom edge there. Now I'm not too worried of the complete bottom because I'm going to be covering the bottom up, if that makes sense. There's going to be some grounding in the bottom there, so it's going to cover up the bottom part. So I'm not too worried about leaving that blank. Started with my Dusty Concord, now going in with my Villainous Potion. This is the first time I've used this colour and I love it, and I think it works really, really well with this Dusty Concord. It really looks nice together. So I'm just blending over those, going fairly roughly, but trying to kind of go back and forth between the two colours a little bit as well to make sure I get a nice blend. And once that is done, I will pull out the Black Soot and just add a little bit to the top and the kind of sides, just to deepen it up and kind of really make those purpley colours pop a bit more. So again, just going back with my Villainous Potion just to smooth it all out. Once that is done and I'm happy with all of the ink blending, I will do some splattering, of course, because you can't have a Halloween card without a nice splatter detail on the back. So I'm going to start with the Distress Oxide in Black Soot to add some nice dark splatters all over. So I'm just watering that down with a little bit of water, splattering it all over with a fine paintbrush there. Once that is done, I decided to come in with some white pigment ink as well to add some white splatter details. So here's my white pigment ink, just doing the same process, watering it down a little bit, picking it up with my paintbrush and splattering it all over. Now this is a little bit less bright than if you were to use like white acrylic or white watercolor paint. It's just a little bit more subtle than that, and it will dry back even more subtle than what I've just shown there. So I left my background panel to dry a little bit, and then I have this kind of spooky backdrop die from my stash which I found, and I thought it would work perfectly. So it comes with this kind of black frame and then the kind of landscaping pieces. So I decided to pop the frame up on some foam tape. I kind of regret doing that because it was a very fine frame and it was very hard to keep it kind of straight as I attached it down to the card. But you know, it's done and I think it turned out pretty well, all things considered. But I'm just laying everything out to see where it's going to go so that I can figure out where my sentiment will fit. Now, initially I wanted to use this amazing sentiment from the stamp set, which says, oh, what does it say now? When black cats prowl and pumpkins glow, wishing you luck on I can't remember, it rhymes. It's a really cool sentiment. I haven't got it on the top of my head, but it didn't fit, long and short of it. So I decided to use this Boo sentiment instead, and I'm just placing it centered there, and I did white heat emboss it, and I'm just buffing off any of the excess powder there that I've got there. So it comes up nice and bright. Now here's where I start assembling everything. So I have my black frame, and like I say, this was probably a mistake. I probably should have just glued it flat because it became very, very difficult to line up and get it nice and straight all the way around because it was so fine. And yeah, I didn't get it perfect. I think it's pretty good, but it was, as I say, it was quite difficult to get it exactly lined up. And I felt like maybe if I just glued it flat, it would have been better. But, you know, it's okay. Also, I could have done it with some black foam tape instead of white because it does show through around the edges a little bit. But all in all, I think it turned out pretty good. I did fiddle around with it a little bit, but then I started to rip the background panel, so I decided just to leave it and kind of go with it and hope that it would turn out okay. So let me start attaching everything else. Down here is my little ground piece. I've just cut everything from black because I thought it looked really cool and it makes that nice vibrant purple background really stand out. So my first bit is the ground piece, and then I'm going to attach my trees down on either side, and it just gives a nice spooky finish. I think it looks really, really cool. And it would look great with quite a few of our new Pawsome stamp sets. The gorgeous Wicked Vibes with the witches and the cauldron, the witches' legs, would look awesome with this kind of coloured background as well. Just love Halloween cards. I love making them. I never give out very many, but maybe I need to start making more and handing them out. So that's my background complete. Now I can start attaching my little pumpkins down. I'm going to pull them out here. As I say, I coloured in all 5, but I ended up only using 3. So I've decided to use my mummy, my pirate, and my witch pumpkin there. So 2 of the green ones and 1 of the orange ones. And I'll keep the other 2 for another occasion, another card. So I'm going to just attach those down with some liquid glue flat to the base of that panel there. And don't they look so much fun? They're so cute. If you have not checked out the new Pawsome Stamps release, I urge you to go and check out their website. I'll leave the link in the description box below. There's so many fun things and gorgeous things for fall. Really love this release. Okay, so my little pumpkins are stuck down. I have some little die cut bats here, which I've also cut from some black cardstock. And I thought I would scatter them around in a few places as well, just to add a little bit more of that spooky ambience to my card. I think they turned out really, really cool. I'm going to pick those up with some tweezers to place them down in the right spot there. But again, just securing them down with liquid glue flat to the back of my card. And I just think it's such a fun card. I love those pumpkins. They just make me smile. They're so creepy cute, aren't they? So all that's left is to secure it to a standard size card base at 5.5 by 4.25 inches. I chose a white card base, but you could of course use black and then put a white insert on the inside, but I decided just to use white today. And that is it, my card complete. I love how it turned out. A little bit annoyed that that frame's not quite as straight as I would have liked it. But other than that, I think it's pretty cool. I love these pumpkins. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe to the Pawsome Stamps channel. We would love to see you come back and join us again. And please do feel free to check out these other videos that I've left here. And make sure to go and check out the Pawsome Stamps website for these products and many others. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.